All right, everybody, it's the Jere Metcalf podcast where top real estate agents tell how they do it. And today we have Becky Frey from Dallas, Texas. She is a top agent and team in Dallas and with Briggs, Sotheby's International Realty. Becky, thank you for being here today.
Jere.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for having me. This is fun.
It's good to have you. Thank you. And I have so much I want to ask you because I know you so well and we're going to have fun. But let's start with, how did you decide to be a real estate agent, and did you fall into it, and how did that all happen? How'd you get here today?
I did fall into it completely.
Most people do.
So I got out of college and I was working, and a lady came into this retail shop where I was and brought in several bags, and then to return them. Then I ended up selling her like 5 bags, and she left. And she came back the next day and she goes, "Okay, you totally sold me." She goes, "Have you ever thought about going into real estate?" And I said, "No, my mom sold real estate. I could do that." So she said, "I want you to come talk to Ellen Terry." So I did go talk to Ellen, and that was kind of the beginning of it. I started out as Ellen's assistant and kind of went from there.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
Oh, I don't know if you want to say
Okay.
33 years. 33 years ago.
That's not possible. We're
Isn't
not
that
even going to
crazy?
go there, but I can't believe that's crazy. I can't believe
Yeah,
that.
it's a long time ago.
And
but
you
it's been
stayed in
fun.
it for 33, which nobody does that. That's incredible.
No.
No wonder you're so successwe're
You know,
no,
I
go
feel
ahead.
good that I have a career that I like. That's the good thing.
And you're good at it. You've got, I mean, we're going to get to it, but your marketing is unbelievable. So anyway, so you became a real estate agent, you're an assistant, and then did you know, was this kind of like, all right, I'm just going to be an assistant, or did you know? When did you know?
So the company I started with, which I kind of think is a good idea, she would have you be an assistant for 9 months. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. You had to find someone in the company to be an assistant with and train. And that person could work out with you what you would earn at the time. And so I trained with Ellen and then went off with another agent so I kind of did it for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, I'm ready to go on my own, and kind of took off.
Great. So you're on your own, what I'm leading to is now you've got a really powerful team. So you were on your own for how many years?
Oh gosh, a long time. Probably, years ago, production was different than it is today because it doesn't go as fast.
Mm-hmm.
So as as the real estate industry started to speed up, everyone started to have more help because you just couldn't keep up as we did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an assistant, probably starting in like 15 years ago, I guess. I got my first assistant, kind of Brian Buffini time.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends was doing Brian Buffini, and she called me and we were chatting. She goes, "You've got to get an assistant. You've got to get out of those tasks that are not money-making tasks for you."
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was at the time that I hired my first assistant.
Wow. So then you hired your assistant, and then that was 15 years ago. And then you grew a team at what point when you'd been in the business? How long?
It's kind of evolved. So I had an assistant, and then I had 2 or 3 assistants until the market crashed in '08.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of scaled back down to just me again.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hit the office every day and still doing the same thing every day, but it was just me until it kind of picked back up in 2010. And that's when I brought someone back in to start doing marketing and assisting me. And we kind of said, let's get a game plan and get it going. And it just kind of evolved from there. So I kind of have an organic team, I think, that as I needed more, we brought on another person instead of trying to force
I think that's the best way to do it. Then you get the right people because they're actually fulfilling true needs.
Right.
So were you one of these agents that you just became a real estate agent and you were a superstar?
Yeah.
Or were you, was it a steady process for you? When was that point where you hit? Because now you're a big agent, you're on panels, everybody knows who you are. You sell big, beautiful homes. Was it a big bang for you in the beginning, or did that, like I said, evolve over time?
Mine evolved and kept growing. And so I think once when the market, we went through the last change in 2010, I really had somebody do business development, marketing, and really built a strategy. And so then we worked the plan, and I really made a big commitment to marketing at that point, and made a big commitment to it financially.
That was in 2010.
And that was 2010, and that started working. And then I just set big goals, and we just kept going for them and meeting them. And then, like I said, as we got busier, we'd bring in another person to say, okay, now that person needs to take all those things off their plate, and we're going to give that to another person.
So tell me, so we get a better picture of what you're talking about. How's your team structured today? Who does what?
So we have a listing specialist who that's all she does is listings. And so she'll handle the staging and getting the house ready for photographs, meeting the photographer, writing the verbiage, getting the graphics, and proceeds on till it goes to market. And then we have a transaction coordinator who handles, once the deal comes in, they get the transaction, then they keep all that transaction going through the title company and keeps the team up to date on what's going on. Marketing, we have a marketing person full time, so Lauren does all the beautiful marketing. She coordinates all that.
It's amazing, Lauren. Love your marketing.
So Lauren's great at that. And then I have a showing specialist who, just because a lot of our properties are agent to me in Dallas, so I have a showing specialist who is Jordan, and so she makes showings on our listings and also helps me show buyers. And then she's kind of picking up her business on her own. And then Natalie she just works with buyers and sellers. She's just a selling agent.
Okay.
So we've kind of got a mix. And then Hunter just joined the team.
That's your son?
That's my son. And so he is going to kind of be a lake house guy and sell. And he's kind of our drone master. He's got the drone and
oh, wow,
doing all that. So it's fun. So we have a good group.
Oh, that's great. So basically you've got a huge support system for your business. You've got an agent who's helping you show, who also does some of her own business, and you've got another agent who pretty much has her own book of business, but she probably gets some referrals from you.
Yes.
And also kind of rides the coattails in a good way because she's got credibility and marketing from you. And then you've got Hunter coming on kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And do they take full advantage of the listing coordinator and the transaction coordinator also, or is that just for you? How do you structure that?
Yeah, I think Elizabeth will help them with their listing, appointments and do what she needs to do. It all kind of depends on, in springtime when we're all going, full throttle. It's kind of all hands on deck is what I say, and just go for it. So we have to help each other out a lot, busy times a year. But she does, everybody supports each person on the team.
Love it. Yeah. So everybody understands they're on a team and everybody's there to help the big picture and help everybody grow, which is kind of how you roll. I can see how that. I love
Work
that.
hard, play hard is our motto.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So being in this for 33 years, you've had good times and bad times and seen a lot of changes in the market, seen a lot of changes in the way this business works. One question I'd like to ask everybody, but you may have 5 answers for us, but what is the one thing you wish you knew when you got into this business that you know now? And what are some of the good things you've learned over the years?
I think if I would have known that it changes, but it doesn't change, I think really you can get so caught up. When you first start out in the business, especially today, it's like an overwhelm of opportunities to market yourself. Or do you do Facebook? Do you do Instagram? Do you do print? What do you do? There's so much to do, but there's some things that still stay the same. It's making a personal phone call to someone. It's writing a note to someone. It's dropping by their house. I think we can get going with so much and so many opportunities that it still goes back to it's a very personal business. And it's just like we were talking about this morning. The G&E, the head of the Ritz spoke, and he talked about how it really, the Ritz is a very personalized business, just like real estate is. We've got to remember every day that they are entrusting us with a very large decision. And that doesn't change from when I started or to today. The marketing changes, the Instagram changes, and all that, but the personalized aspect of the business never changes.
It's so true. I think now that part is even more powerful because they have access to what's available. Right. They have access to all the tax records. They have access to all the information. It's our experience and our the connection they need from somebody to ground them and walk them through the process,
Right.
that they'll never stop needing, which is why real estate agents are still, why we're still here in the business,
Yeah.
despite all
I mean,
the tools and resources.
there's so much for them to have, but I think a lot of them like to gather all that information.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end of the day, they like to have someone who's can really help them decipher all the information, and that's our job, is to really walk them through that process and make them feel like they're making the best educated decision that they can.
Mm-hmm. So you talked about all of the marketing options when you get in this business. There's so many different options, so many things you can do, and you have some of the best marketing I've seen. I mean,
Thank you.
Just for those of our listeners who haven't seen it yet, you really you really have this presentation of competence and professionalism, and it's sophisticated, and it's beautiful, and it's elegant, and at the same time, you're able to connect on this very, just the same way your personality is, very authentic, very genuine, very comfortable. You get in this very comfortable place with people. You connect with people, and your marketing does that. And I'm going to give an example to everybody of that, and then I want you to go from there and speak to your marketing.
Okay.
But one of your pieces is great. I think you had it in a magazine, and you've got it on a postcard. But I don't even remember. I think it's a picture of the team, but it has all these cute things. Like it says, I don't know if it says therapist, but it says consultant, stager, decorator. What is it? Go ahead.
Dog walker.
Well, and then it says your real estate agent. But that just brings it, and the way it's so beautifully done, you don't take away the integrity or the dignity of us realtors, as so many of the realtors out there can do with the marketing. And you still have this level of connectedness with your customer. So that marketing, it sounds like you really started investing in it in 2010. How do you come up with these marketing pieces, and how do you choose, and what does your marketing look like? What does your marketing platform and plan look like?
We kind of, at the first year, we'll set a budget for our marketing. And this last year in January, decided to kind of do a rebranding, because we've been using the same things for the last few years. Mm-hmm. So it's time, let's do a fresh look. Briggs Freeman has a wonderful marketing department that we have access to, but I use an outside agency that kind of comes up with our concepting. Mm-hmm. And Lauren kind of works hand in hand with them. So we all sat down and said, and they know me, so they know that I like mine to feel personal, mm-hmm. and it has to have a little bit of a sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And so they came up with a bunch of different ideas, and we said, okay, this is the direction we want to go this year. And I like it to be real, but it has to be professional. I want it to connect with people. So that's kind of the package that they put together this year. And we did photo shoot, changed things, and it's it's fun, because I like people to look at our ads and remember us, but also to know that it comes across as very professional, because I think we can do some ads that do not reflect a person, real professional, mm-hmm. aspect of our business.
It happens all too often. I don't remember. Yeah. Did you see Brad Nelson has a presentation he does? Have you seen it?
No.
He has Ellen DeGeneres on her show. It talks about real estate agents, and she has this little sequel of all the ads that realtors do, and one guy's
so good, I'm sure.
initials are RAP, R-A-P.
Uh-huh.
So he decides to go on and rap about a house for sale, and that's like the way he market. I mean, it's embarrassing. The things that these people come up with. You got to see it. But it's back to that point of they're trying to be personal, they're trying to stand out, but they got the wrong approach. And then you get other people who don't go there, but it's so stale. It's just, there's no connection in there. And you've really wrapped it up into one. So when on your marketing, do you have monthly, weekly, daily, and what platforms do you use? Print, social media, digital?
Okay. We kind of mix it up, and we do a plan at the first of the year too, which I think really helps, because like I said, again, there's so many options and it can get overwhelming. So mm-hmm. I think you have to set your budget, and then figure out what print is big in your city, mm-hmm. And what you can afford to do, and where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. And so then we go through and we plan that out through the year, that we're going to be in, what magazines we'll be in, what newspapers we'll be in, how many postcards we're going to send, how many pieces we're going to send directly to the Sphere. Mm-hmm. Then we did a 12-month plan for Instagram, So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of knew monthly what needed to be going out, and have a consistent theme throughout the team so that everyone kind of knows what we need to look like,
Mm-hmm.
and keep it consistent. Same with people on the team and their marketing. They have this, we all have consistent logos to use. So everything kind of stays congruent.
Love it. That's great. So it sounds like
Yeah.
you do a lot of print, a lot of
Yes.
postcards, a lot of magazines, a lot of newspapers, which a lot of people are not doing, which probably helps you stand out on those platforms. On the digital component, obviously you've got a website. And
Uh,
what social media platforms do you use?
we do Instagram, Twitter, we do Facebook, kind of everything.
Okay.
I think Jordan's the youngest on the group, so she's Snapchat and she does some of that. Um, but our website, we have a couple of videos on there. We're doing a lot more videos and drones and things like that because we found that really you get more clicks and people stay longer.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really trying to integrate a little bit more of that going forward into the next year.
And those
I think
drone
that's
shots
good.
give you a much better idea of the layout of the property in general.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And just doing drones, I think, through neighborhoods that you work in, so that so say if you do focus on a particular area, like if you're in Buckhead or you're in whatever, or in Dallas, I'm in the Park Cities, and if you do a drone that really shows people the connectedness of their neighborhood to all the surroundings, it's just another piece of the puzzle.
That's a great idea. Now, do you do that for a video like, do you put that drone video footage that you have, do you put it in for every listing that you put on the market, or is that just a whole separate video for that neighborhood?
No, it'll be separate, kind of
Okay.
particular for each property. But so say if you have several listings in one neighborhood, you can do a nice piece and connect it to all those properties.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay. Gotcha. Now let's get a little bit into mindset. I love your mindset. I'm going to talk about, so you were on a few panels at GNE,
Yeah.
and my favorite was the one Greg Lynn put together it was the Metropolitan Living Group.
Yeah.
And you had the best. I think you're the only. I mean, not to go sexist on us, but just I think you were the only woman up there, weren't you? Out of 6.
I think so.
I think
there was one other lady, I think, from New York.
Okay, so there was there was one other woman, and there was you. But everybody was, everybody on the panel was great, but you definitely gave it some flair, which I loved. And your great takeaway was everybody, you said, especially you new agents, especially doing open houses. I've already told so many people the story, but I just loved it. You said, if you're going to go do an open house, and this is just in business in general,
Yeah.
if you look in that mirror before you go to the open house and you're like, this is frumpy, not sure.
This is not working.
Honey, just don't leave the house. You just keep
Take it
changing the
off.
outfit. Just take it off. And
Just
you don't
keep
leave
going.
and you don't leave that house until you look in the mirror and you're like, now I'm hot. Then you can go.
I'm out there now.
I love it because that translates into everything you do for the rest of the day at your open house, when you meet people, when you engage, and even no matter how long you've been doing this, you're negotiating deals, meeting new clients, showing properties.
Exactly.
You got it. So I loved that. So
Good. Well, you've got to. I mean, it's just like if I walk out of the house and I'm kind of going, this is not right. I'm not feeling cute today. I'm not feeling good. You carry that into every conversation all day long, or every person you go meet. You're kind of like, God, I wish I hadn't put this on today. Even though this sounds kind of silly, like we're talking about outfits, but it does show your personality, and it shows your professionalism or whatever you're choosing to do for the day. So I do, and I tell everybody every time I do an open house little, gig here at the office, to help people work open houses. I'm like, do the same thing. I'm like, you got to be hot when you walk out that door.
love
and
it.
that's different to everybody, but it's so important. It's so important.
Well, I think your success, it all starts in here. And if I remember, I had some hard times in life, and I just had one day. I mean, I was like 20-something years old, and I was like, none of this out here is going to change until this changes.
Right.
And part of that is being dressed right, taking care of yourself. It comes from in here.
Having a little time in the morning. I've always been big on. I get up early. When my son was little, I get up real early, have my coffee. Read something really good that kind of gets you going for the day. Maybe journal a little bit, but look at your goals and just think about what you want to do that day and how you're going to go forward, and just kind of get your mindset going before you take out and head out the door.
So so obviously you have a routine every morning. You get up, you have your coffee. So walk us through that a little bit to let us know how that goes. What's your routine what are your routine? Obviously in this business, there are things that are not fixed, but what are the fixed routine things that you do?
Well, the one thing I think you can control is your early morning. So I've always been one that I get up and I say, if I'm going to go to spin at 6:45 or whatever it is, or, I'll get up an hour at least before. So I really have plenty of time to have coffee, kind of relax. Like I said, think about my day, read some good material, really get my head straight. Then I go work out or go for a run, either go to the gym or run, come back. I send a few emails and notifications out to people before I go work out. So when I come back, they've all answered me. So I kind of know what direction I'm going, or I need to tell the team, or, send things out to everybody. And then we're up and going. Mm-hmm. And I've had my workout. I've had some quiet time. I've looked at my goals and thought about the day and go for it.
And what do you do? Do you have any rituals that you do at night for the day before? Or is that really what you're doing in the morning? I just don't want to miss any of your good secrets while I've got you.
My morning is my big ritual time. I just think that it just works for me. And I think everybody finds their time. Some people are night owls, but I'm not a night owl.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is your biggest? I want to talk about challenges and successes. So, what success are you most proud of or most excited about moving forward in your business?
Let's see. I'm always happy when I run into clients and they're like, "Oh my God, we love our house. We love our house. Thank you so much." And it's just that aha moment. Mm-hmm. God, I love what I do. I love my career. And I'm proud of, sticking with the stick-to-itives that I've done all these years, to stay in the business. There's certainly times when you're going along and the market corrects and it's tough, or, it's financially tough in our business at times, to stay the course and stick with it. Mm-hmm. But it's a great career. You meet wonderful people. And I'm really proud of my team. They're a great group. They work hard. We have a fun time. We all try to support each other, and and I really want to see them all have great success. So I have a lot of joy in every little success that they have, and watch that growth. And so it's combined. It's just, I'm really lucky, and I tell people this all the time. I'm very lucky to be in real estate and have enjoy something I do every day.
I couldn't agree with you more. I love that. So, I know that this business presents us with so many challenges. I know for sure I wouldn't be nearly the person I am without it, because I wouldn't have had the challenge, and I wouldn't be the happy person I am without it either, because you got to find it. You got to find that happiness.
You got to find that happy place. You can't let people get you down.
You do, and you learn to do that in this business. And I am. So I say that to say to you, do you have anything, it could have been the recession or getting into this business or just a challenge, because we've had lots of them, but any special stories you can give us where you were presented with a deal or a situation that looked like a negative, and then because of the way it was handled, or just because of how universal intelligence or divine intervention or whatever it might be, because of things that transpired, it ended up becoming an opportunity? Do you have any special stories for us like that? I wish I could think of. They could be as basic.
I'm trying to think of a good one right now. There's so many. The time when, I had one recently where I went on a listing appointment 6 or 8 months ago, and I'm very straight shooter on pricing. I really try to be honest and say, this is where I think you're going to sell, and I really do a lot of research and study it and try to tell them. And so they had interviewed 3 people, and they called me and said, well, we're going to go with someone else. And I said, oh gosh, I'm really disappointed. And they said, well, they really had a significantly different price than you had. And I said, okay, well, good luck. And, I'll be sure and try to show it if I can. Well, they went to that agent, then they went to the next agent. And then finally they called me back. And when they called me and I went back over their house, they said, if we would have just listened to your price in the first place, and trusted what you said, then we wouldn't be here today. And it was kind of made me feel good that I don't try to just give a price to get a listing. Mm-hmm. I really try to be honest with people. But but I've come with justification for why I have that, that price or what I'm thinking about their property. And I mean, there are properties I think that we all take, but, at a higher price.
Absolutely, yeah.
They either give you good exposure, or there's some reason that you want to take that, or it's a friend, or it's a certain situation. But I do think that to be as honest as I can. And a lot of people really appreciate it. I've had people call me back and say, we interviewed 3 people and your price is not the highest, but we feel like you did the most research and you really put a lot of thought into where you thought our house would sit in the market.
Mm-hmm. Which makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I think the lesson of that is, and the thing we all learn, the longer you're in this business, the more integrity, the more you do the right thing, the more it just comes back tenfold. When you're new in the business, it doesn't feel like it, but as you stay in this business, it pays off.
It pays off, and I always tell everybody on the team, I'm like, don't ever do anything that you would have to second guess your decision, or if you don't know an
Great
answer,
advice.
Just say, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll get right back with you, and call and get the right answer. Don't try to give an answer. I mean, that's how you build your credibility in the business.
Exactly. What's your biggest aha about this business, or what's been a biggest aha, even if it's recent or in the beginning, or?
Gosh, my biggest aha.
A big one is, this is easy and all my friends will hire me as soon as I get my license.
Yeah.
That's everybody's.
Yeah. There's that aha when everyone always calls me, like, I just want to go into real estate because I can have my, my schedule, what I want to do.
And that too.
I think the aha for me is, if you want to be successful, you have to work your business like a business. Mm-hmm. And there were for years, I didn't work it like a business. I sold real estate and I kept combined accounts, and I didn't have it set up like a business. And then finally went, okay, this really is, I'm going to run this like a business. I want to grow my business. Mm-hmm. And so you had to take the step to do that, where you're running a small business under your broker.
Exactly. Well, I keep thinking about it. It sounds like you had a big, and tell me if I'm wrong, a kind of a big breakthrough after that recession. Man, that was awful.
Yeah.
I think that changed a lot of us. I mean, I look back and I'm just glad I made it through. I'm glad to still be here.
Everybody just is like, oh my, everybody's like, I think a lot of people around here are still waiting for the next one to happen.
Oh, we can't do that.
They're like,
you're right.
They always think, is it going to happen again? I'm like, well, it could. If you've done it long enough, there's so many ups and downs, and
the biggest thing is, how are you going to be prepared for the next one? And some of it's saving money, and some of it's innovation, and some of it's. But my question for you is there some, because it sounds like you, like in 2010, you really took it up a notch and took it to the next level. What happened that made you really just dial in and do that?
So in 2010, when I had let my assistant go in 2008 after the crash, so I had someone who had been in the corporate world, and they did team development and business development. They came and joined me and kind of started ramping it up. They were, worked as assistant in marketing and did all the hats at once, but then also started setting up systems. Mm-hmm. Because I think that we always had to pick our strengths. Mm-hmm. And my strength is maybe not systems and spreadsheets and things like that, but I'm good at connecting people and going out and getting the business. So I think everybody has to learn that, what is your strength? Mm-hmm. And so she came in and started setting up all the systems, and that's really when, and committing to the marketing, and just kind of
systems
going forward
marketing.
And setting big goals. Yeah.
It's committing to the marketing. And I think by that, what you mean is, we're committing to getting it being done and committing financially to the marketing. And then,
it's scary. It's scary to do that, but it
pays off though.
It's just consistency. I think that's one of the things that's hard for people when they're first getting into business, and they start out and say, well, I'm going to, I want to do marketing, and they'll do 2 or 3 somethings, and they say, well, nobody called me, so I'm not going to do it. I'm like, I know, but you've got to just do it for a year. You've got to just keep doing it.
Exactly.
It's consistency. Yeah.
Exactly. And so the systems, are we talking CRMs? Are we talking workflow? What are we talking?
When we did, when I first started redoing everything after the crash, we were just doing spreadsheets and kind of did everything through, just on the computer, how we set it up with, listing spreadsheets, seller spreadsheets, buyer spreadsheets, and then just studied it every Monday, had a meeting, went over it. today we do use a CRM, and there's so many good ones out there.
Which one do y'all use?
We have one that was designed just for us called .info.
Okay.
And I think Briggs is looking at one right now. Does your office use one in particular?
Well, they're looking at one right now, but we don't have. I'm a spreadsheet lady like you used to be, because I can't. I've tried CRMs and none of them are working for me.
No, they're either too much information or not the right thing, or
not the
so
right
it's kind of hard.
kind.
So you've got to kind of research and ask people and find one that works for you. And then we kept, now we can have our contacts all in there, and it just helps you, remind you to touch base with people and things to do. So that's helpful. But I think the system's just setting up, once they start getting more listings, it's getting a listing person who specializes in that. And a lot of people start out with having a listing and transaction person in one, or an assistant does all those hats for a while until you get too busy. Then you need to peel one of those things off from the assistant. And that person then goes into then you have a transaction and a listing person. Then if you get too busy with that, you can break those two out.
Yeah.
And you just keep growing. But I think a lot of people get in trouble when they try to just create a team and it's not needed yet. I think you grow as you need the people.
Exactly. And then that
way,
make sense?
It
makes total sense. It makes sense because that way you're fulfilling a true need, and it's easier to get the right person in that position to see that you know what you need, and to see that they're properly fulfilling it. So,
but but like I said, I'm not good at everything, so I can't pretend to try to do everything, And so I think we do have to find people who can come fill in those little slots that we're not the best at.
And do so much better at it, so we can be that much better.
You're freed up to go get the business and bring in the business.
Exactly, what we're so good at, and then what we enjoy.
Right.
So, what is a book that you would recommend to read to be a successful anything, but especially a real estate agent?
Okay, I've got a couple.
Okay,
so when I first started in real estate, Ellen Terry, who had a big brokerage here for years, she has a boutique firm that I just adore, and she's always a big motivational speaker to people, and she's a big inspiration for me because she's really the one who sat me down. She had every agent sit down and write their goals every year, and you had to bring them to the office meeting, and you had to do it. You had to do dream boards, and you had them on your desk. So you were looking at them all the time. So she really was an inspiration to me to visualize and visualize your dreams and keep repeating it, constantly. And so she had two books she had us read. One was TNT, which is kind of about just a personal power within. And then the other one was Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And they're really pretty simple books, but they're just good. I could go back. I've reread them because they just kind of help you at those times when you do have fear, or you've got to move forward. You can pick one of those up and read it. And then lately I've read The Go Giver, and it's about in sales. The more you give, the more it comes back to you. And it's really about being a salesperson in giving. I'm really enjoying it, so it's good. But I'm big about reading books and bringing books to the team and sharing them and talking about it.
TNT and Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I've never heard of either one of those.
They're old books.
I can't wait. To read them.
They're just kind of old but goodies, yeah.
All right, so what is the one thing as we come to a close that you want to be sure, or that you would have our listeners remember or take from this interview, if there's one? Because there's going to be lots, but if there's one.
Oh, gosh, have fun with it. You've got to, I think we work so hard, and I think that we can get so overwhelmed. And I think you just got to remember that you've got to have fun with it, and you've got to treat everyone the way you want to be treated. I think is a big thing for me. I think about that. I'm like, if I was going through something like that, or I was in fear and I was selling my home for a financial reason, that's really serious. And I want someone to be sensitive to that.
I love what you just said. It's easy when you do a lot of transactions to always remember to get yourself back in your client's shoes when you're talking to them.
Yes.
What are they really feeling? Not what do I think and what is my opinion, because I've done this 50 times already this year. But what are they doing and what do they need? Because that's actually what I'm here for.
Right. And just remember that. And it was funny at the G&E, one of the speakers said, he goes, remember to make every day your first day. So have that enthusiasm every day. It was your first day in real estate.
I think that was Thomas Wright. He was like,
Yeah,
not
so
the second day. It's got to be the first day.
Yeah, it's always got to be the first day. So that's why you got to have that morning routine, and you got to be feeling good when you get those clothes on and walk out the door. So
you got to be feeling hot.
You got to be feeling hot, girl.
And honey, if it's frumpy, if it's not hot, take it off. Don't walk out that door until you're hot. I love it.
Exactly.
Love it. Oh my gosh! Well, thank you so much. Give us anything else you want to add to that before I.
No, I just think it's just I'm always open for questions. If anybody wants to call me that sees this or any other agents,
tell us how to do that. Yeah.
I'm always open for people to call me or email me, and I'm happy to share. And I just think it's a great career, and we're so blessed. And everybody that is in real estate, just about you, it's a big family. I love Briggs Freeman. We have a great family here, and it's awesome. I really appreciate you having me on this.
Well, thank you for being on. All right, give us your website and your phone number.
Website's BeckyFrey.com, and that's Frey, Becky Frey. And cell is 214-536-4727. So give me a call.
Thank you, Becky.
Thanks, Jere.
Awesome having you.